All right. All right. All right. Welcome back to the Baytown Babysitters Club. And in this episode, we're switching back from music to movies, and we're doing Black Phone. It's on Peacock now. So if you haven't seen it, you probably seen it by now. If you're going to see it, you've seen it by now because it's like probably late December when this comes out. So uh, I went into this movie completely blind.
Yeah.
Like I saw the image of the mask. I saw Black Phone. I saw like that advertisement, but I didn't watch the trailer. I didn't read anything about the movie itself, but I saw like rave reviews for it. So when it did come out, I was like, all right, let's do this one.
Yeah.
Um, did
It was
you did
new.
you know anything about it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
read an article about how they got Tom Savini to build a mask.
Yeah.
Um, I was like, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe this is a COVID movie.
Hmm.
Um, you can
Interesting.
kind of see it in the film where when people are close together, it's kind of quick cuts. But
Hmm.
if the movie wants to slow down the edits, they kind of are standing far apart.
Hmm.
Um, I think that's also why in the movie, like Ethan Hawke, he never comes towards. They're always like 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I think it's a COVID movie. And it's also why there's such a small cast of characters.
Yeah, I mean this movie really didn't need another person. But
It didn't need another person. I think it just needed like, all right, what did you think of it?
this movie is Stir of Echoes mixed with The Lovely Bones.
Yeah.
Um I mean that's all this movie is. It's creative. It's a interesting it's an interesting idea of spoilers, the kid being trapped and like the ghost trying to help him, but that's Stir of Echoes.
Yeah.
And the sisters trying to like premonitions or dreams to fix it. That's the Lovely Bones.
Yeah.
So like it really is just a combination of those two movies reworked. I think that they did an okay job at it, but it was nothing like the hype made it out to be. But
Mhm.
I mean, what did you think of it?
It was okay. Like, like it's down the middle. Fucking like,
Yeah.
okay. Did I hate it? No. Did I like it? No. It was okay. It feels like a Sunday movie. Like I was
I
flipping through the
honestly feel like
channels.
I was tricked.
Yeah, it was like I was flipping channels and this movie came on. It's about a guy with a mask but if I have complaints, I really don't like the supernatural in this.
Okay.
I uh I kind of really wish it was like more just based on like kind of reality instead of ghostesses helping him, you know? It's him like discovering these things in this place on his own, you know?
Yeah.
I kind
I
of
don't know if the movie would have worked that well if that were the case.
I'm just
Like,
trying to
'cause the
fix
things,
it to like something that may be a little bit more interesting.
I mean, I don't know. All right, so I'm gonna tear this movie up, and I'm not doing it intentionally, but there was a lot wrong with this movie.
No, it's not like I said.
Starting with starting with the fact that I feel like I was tricked, um, because everybody's like, "It's the scariest fucking movie," and blah blah blah, and no, it wasn't. I think that the movie wouldn't have worked the way that you're envisioning it. Maybe it would have, but
Yeah.
the 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 ghosts helping him to figure these things out, those were necessary, even though some of them were kind of dead ends. Um, but they were too specific. These things were too specific
This is
to
how
for
you
him
get
to
out of the
just like,
house, and like, oh, just tell me.
well, yeah, so that part's dumb, but also there's no way he would have took the back of the toilet and broke into the wall right where the freezer was. You know what I mean? Like he needed the guidance to break into the back of that freezer.
Yeah.
He needed like those he needed those things. So I don't know. All right. So
All right.
let's
Do you want to know how I would have done that if no ghosts?
okay. Okay.
All right. We just see him. He's sitting, not using the toilet, but just sitting on the toilet. You don't want
Mhm.
to lay down. So, and he goes over and he turns the light out and he notices a crack. And he can see light through that crack. And then he's trying to like push it, and he's using his pen to stat, and then he realizes, oh, I could take that toilet lid and maybe break through that, you know, and he crashes through it, and then like the first night, you know how like, well, what's the lock on the house? It's a combination lock. So let's say first
Mhm.
night he's sneaking up and he sees that him sitting there with the belt, okay, which was creepy, I will give it that. um
Mhm.
and he notices he's asleep, you know, and he goes to the door, but it's locked. He doesn't know the combination. So he goes back down and he is just kind of frustrated with the situation, and he's given up, and he notices something carved on the wall, like everything that he could figure out, he does the thing with the grate, you know,
Mhm.
like he figures that out. He figures out the dirt, there, I'll dig out, and he like everything he's doing, he figures out for himself. And us as audience member sits there and goes, oh man, he's home for no. Oh man, he's home free.
I
Damn it.
feel
No.
like that I feel like that side of it and the side that they chose are both like staples, right?
Yeah.
Because the person who figures it out on their own but keeps failing, it's like we've seen that a billion times.
Yeah.
We've seen the ghost help, but most of the time ghost hurt, so it's nice to have some help. The whole idea of each of these kids, previous victims, trying different things and them
Mm-hmm.
not working, and but still giving him that information,
Yeah.
and him being smart enough to put the pieces together and go, okay, I'm going to trip him with this, I'm going to put him in this hole with this, I'm going to, whatever.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool. It was probably my favorite part was just
Okay.
seeing like, and each kid says something, or well, the kids that he knows, like the baseball player and the Spanish kid, he they say something very key to him
Mm-hmm.
that is going to be
Clues them
uh
into that. They're yeah.
helpful later.
Yeah.
um I will say I did get the jump scare chills. I didn't move, but like I got the chills. um So the one jump scare that got me was the first jump scare, is when he's on the phone with the paper boy kid and he turns and the kid is right there. I was like, God
Yeah.
damn it, fuck you, like you cheap bastard. I
Yeah.
knew it was coming.
I could smell that jump
But
scare a mile away.
yeah, but it still
I
got
was
me.
like,
And
oh, here it comes.
really the
Yeah,
only
there it
thing
is.
that still gives me chills is ghosts. Like
Ghosts.
I don't even necessarily believe in ghosts, but
No.
in movies, the fact that they're just there,
Yeah.
that shit gets me. Just like in The Haunting of Hill House, where she turns around and that ghost is right there. Like that shit gets me almost every time.
Yeah.
There's a formula that works, and you know, um,
Well, yeah, I mean, we become startled when music and shit just is thrown off. So
Yeah.
Um, all right. So storyline needs to be redone. There's a fruit fly in this house that is driving me fucking crazy. It keeps coming by my face. But all right,
Yeah.
so storyline, what else? What else irks you?
So my biggest thing is, and I know they're already talking about Black Phone 2. So maybe we'll see
Well,
it in
yeah.
Black Phone 2. What the fuck is with Ethan Hawke? There is zero information on this guy.
Yeah.
There is zero backstory. There's no like, so he's wearing the mask throughout the entire movie, and I'm like, this is so that the person doesn't know who he is. This is so the person, he has the intimidating factor of the mask.
Mhm.
But then at the end, when he falls in the hole and the kid rips the mask off, and he goes, "Oh, why? Where? What is that?"
Because he
And
did what,
like,
like, oh my god, now you know my secret identity.
no, this ain't fucking Scooby Doo. Like, there's a reason that he's wearing that mask,
Yes.
because even when you see him initially take whatever Finney's
Well, there's
uh
like a couple masks. Like,
well, no, it's the same mask. It's just broken up into pieces.
yeah, but
Like
there's some
the top comes
points.
off, the bottom comes off. Like there's, well, yeah, the first mask is like solid right through here,
Yeah, and
and
then
then the
the
other one
next
has like
one's
a
got the
face. But like there's a reason he has all these masks. So I don't know if it's like a Halloween type situation where he just likes his masks and he feels comfortable in them kind of thing,
no.
or what the case is, but why don't I have any information on this dude?
I don't know.
Why
Maybe
did you
it'll
leave every single bit out?
maybe
Like
he's
what?
just fucking like trying to, yeah, just super keep his identity so the magic business doesn't like overturn. I mean, it was the 70s. I mean, all you got is that magic
I
business.
to to me
I mean,
it
the motherfucker was rich
I
enough to buy two houses.
That's true. And he made his brother live in one.
Yeah.
Um
And
the
told
same
him
one.
I'm out of town. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
that kind of looks
Yeah.
like his truck over there. That kind of looks like him
That
too. Shut your mouth, do your
that scene,
cocaine.
yeah, yeah. That scene where the cop's like, maybe you should
Clean
clean
up.
up before
Yeah.
he gets home. I was like, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Because that's the 70s for you. The cop probably took half the bag and rolled out.
Yeah.
But but yeah, I I didn't like the fact that there was no information on this person.
Yeah.
Like
I
there's no
will.
backstory, no nothing. Like the movie isn't as strong as Terrifier, right? We don't know where
No.
Art comes from. We don't know what his reasons are. We don't know if he's supernatural or not, whatever the case is. But the movie's so fucking strong, you don't even think of that. Plus, there's
Yes.
the other movies. There's the first three movies that kind of
No,
they don't
if
tell
we're
you
talking
anything,
about
but
Terrifier, they do it because we see what kind of enemy that clown really is. We never see. I mean, all that Ethan Hawke does in this movie is he takes him and he makes him eggs with a little bit of salt and pepper. That's all we've seen him do.
yeah, I
We have
mean,
no, well, everything else is hearsay. We
right.
do, us as an audience member, we don't know if he's taking those other kids. It's like, nah, they all,
Yeah.
they went to fucking
Well, I
California.
mean, yeah, no, you do know that, but
Yeah, but it would have been nice
they're
to
showing
see.
up in his basement for a reason.
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Like to see a little bit more of that. Now, I did like the fact that like I didn't like the fade to black, but I did like the fact that like it did that cool little cut when you would see the van roll around the corner towards the kid,
yeah,
like the baseball player guy, when he's rolling up and you see the van just kind of turn the corner and it fades to black.
yeah.
That I liked, because that's just, you're not saying, hey, dumb audience, this kid's going to get taken.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're just leaving it to like, what's happening. We don't need to go here. The fade to black was kind of dumb.
Yeah.
It made me think commercial. But outside of
TV.
that, like I liked, yeah, I liked that. I liked that idea of just,
No.
what's happening. you know what this is. So the fact that they didn't spend a lot of time on the other victims, as much as I didn't, as much as I would have liked to seen one or two kidnappings,
Mm.
it wasn't necessary. It's about this kid. It's about him figuring out this puzzle. It's about his, so I hate the dad so goddamn much in this movie.
He was a pointless
He
character.
angers me. He's a terrible actor. His There's no rhyme or reason for his actions. His haircut's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
He sounds like he might have a little bit of like a mental illness, not like crazy, but the other kind. Because he just I hate that fucking guy. I hate
Yeah.
him. I hate him. He just every time he was on screen, well, obviously because he's beating his kid, so naturally you don't like him,
Yeah.
but then when he's talking, he's like, "Oh, baby, I know, but you can't be like your mom." I'm like, did they slow down the fucking movie?
Yeah.
Like, who told this
No,
guy
that's
that this
the
was a
actor.
good idea?
I've seen him in a lot of things, and that actor, does he delivers dialogue to the point where he's gonna get the most out of it. Like, like directors like faster with more intention.
Yeah,
I don't like green eggs and ham, shit like that.
yeah, yeah. It's just
Like the writer, the producer, or whatever, creative force was behind this movie was
mhm,
like, all right, check it out. It's a guy who kidnaps kids. Okay, cool.
mhm,
We could write that. Put Ghost in it. Put Ghost
mhm.
in it? Yeah, put Ghost in it. And a phone on the wall. Tom Savini said he'd do the mask. Little girl, she's psychic. Okay? Make that happen too. Like, yeah. And like the writers never like once questioned it and was just like, yeah, sure, we can do that. Yeah, got it right now and stuff. Eggs and 7 Up is paying us, so put 7 Up in there. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Um, was it a bad movie? Was this like a bad movie though?
So when I finished this movie, oh, hold on, before I get to that,
Oh, you got more?
what? Yeah, oh yeah, no, I'm not
Okay.
done. What was with the random ass kickings constantly? Like I get it because like the one tough kid in his school was like, no, you can take a punch. Basically, let this guy beat you,
Yeah.
and then like maybe he won't kill you because he respects you. Like this ain't baby boy. You're not Omar Gooding. Like you're gonna die.
Hmm.
So that was stupid.
Did you also notice that every
Anyway,
time they had to do a flashback or when they were in like the 70s, they had to throw like some 70s song to remind you, oh yeah, this movie takes place in the 70s, you know?
yeah. So I didn't even know that it was set in the 70s.
Yeah.
Like when I heard black phone, I thought like, oh, it's gonna have something to do with a cell phone or
Yeah.
something. Like I didn't think like a black house phone on the wall. Another thing that bugged me was so Ethan Hawke hears the phone, but nobody ever answers or talks to him. So he tells the kid like there's nobody there. It rings, I think it's the static electricity.
Yeah.
All right, cool, fine, whatever. I'll accept that. There's a line running down both sides of the wall. That would have been better if he had like he didn't just cut a cord, but he like dug into the walls to try to find where the phone line was.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like he tried to trace the phone line and then you see it like cut like over there
Yeah.
or something. That line on the wall was too perfectly placed on the wall with the phone for me to like not look at it and go, it looks like something did this based on the phone.
Yeah.
Whether it was like an electrical pulse burned the wall all the way around, something. It leads me to believe that that is there for a reason, not just aesthetics.
Yeah.
Which I'm fucking wrong because this movie didn't try. But anyways, to answer your question, when I finished watching this movie, I felt tricked and I felt empty. I didn't think that it was worth the hype. And I wrote a few things down. My notepad's way over there. I didn't even bring it.
Yeah.
Like I don't there's nothing to fucking there's nothing to like there's plenty to say, but there's nothing positive that like I was like, oh dude. All right, let's try and find something positive. Okay. Let's try to find something positive about this movie.
I enjoyed the like I think the Ethan Hawke acting was okay and creepy. I think if they gave him more to do, you know how earlier you were talking about the fights, because there's a lot of violence in this movie, like with fights. The
Mhm.
bullies in the beginning, the bullies in the middle, that the sister rocks one with a rock.
Yeah,
Um,
dude, that shit was and then she went and sat next to him after
yeah,
she got kicked
yeah,
in the face. Like,
yeah, and like
this son.
it's really like it feels real, and
Yeah.
but I notice Ethan Hawke doesn't have any violent moments other than killing the brother. You know, he hits him with an
Mm-hmm.
axe. And
Mm-hmm.
so we never see him doing violence. He holds a knife to the kid's throat and stuff, when he
Right. Yeah.
escapes at one time. But
He did punch the kid right at the end of that knife scene.
yeah, he
But
punches him nighty night, and but it cut to black before we could see, like,
the
and
impact, yeah.
like I mentioned Silence of the Lambs, okay? Because I keep getting these kind of different flows between Ethan Hawke's character in this movie and the James Gunn uh Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs. The only difference is that we actually get to see Buffalo Bill do violence, you know? We get to see
Mm-hmm.
him, and like the first time we meet him, it's implied, and we
Mm-hmm.
get to look at the cadavers on what he's doing to these
Right.
girls and stuff. And either A, that was a marketing, like, no, we can't have Ethan Hawke fucking like beating the shit out of kids on a movie, Um,
We'll have this shitty dad character do it.
yeah, we'll have a shitty character do it. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Ethan is not willing to do that kind of. So they just throw all the violence towards these simple like fights that these kids are having that are
Yeah.
fucking like gut wrenching, and
Dude,
even
I like a good fight scene. That fight scene where she like the girl like commits attempted murder and then like catches the boot to the face. That was an awesome scene because that shit is realistic.
yeah,
Like
that was real.
that's family defending family at any cost. Like, cool, I'm down with that. The and I understand the point of the young kid taking out the big bully. They're showing he's a badass. I get it.
Yeah,
But like it, why?
yeah,
Like it didn't serve the character
no.
outside of he can take a hit and keep getting up. Unless they mean metaphorically, like life can keep shitting on you and you can keep getting up from it,
Hmm.
which must be what it meant. There was no reasons for it.
Yeah.
I I don't know.
And I mean, even like, okay, the dad beats the shit out of the little girl in the beginning. It's way
Yeah.
more worse than anything fucking like Ethan Hawke does. So I think that kid would be like,
Well,
no,
he
no, it's
murders 5 kids, so
implied. That's not going to hold up in court if they don't
yeah.
find him.
Well,
That,
they did.
the,
They
you
did.
know,
They did find them at the other house
eventually,
that he owned
yeah.
right
I
across the
mean,
street.
but like, or they should have done that kind of story where Ethan Hawke actually like turns out to be like before he kidnaps
He's
him, he's like, come on over. And, I got all this awesome stuff, baseball and shit like that,
mm,
instead of, snatching him with balloons. And the kid doesn't want to leave because it's better than being there with that drunk asshole. And then he's like,
mm,
yeah. And then he
mm,
wakes up and he's down in the fucking cellar.
yeah.
Maybe
I
that
think
would like he put that little boy puts his trust into this fake idea, that, well, it's better than watching him drink himself to death and fucking me having to tiptoe around here fucking because you're eating cereal.
yeah.
It's like, fuck you,
Or
dude.
like the bread pan
Yeah.
holder thing fell open.
Somebody's going
Um
into a retirement home when they get old enough.
yeah. Yeah, they'll die of cirrhosis of the liver long
Yeah.
before that. I think the big thing for me with this movie, upsetting all the other things that I bitched about and bringing one point back, is there's no rhyme or reason for his character to be the way that it is.
Yeah.
Um, there's no backstory because we don't know that, like, maybe he was bullied like Finn and he's getting back at all the naughty kids, all the mean kids, or whatever the case is.
Maybe.
Even
Yeah.
though none of these kids struck me as mean except for Billy from Stranger Things. So, but like, there's no rhyme or reason. The brother
Yeah.
is fairly well adjusted. He has a coke problem, but
Yeah.
like, we don't
Well
see Ethan
adjusted.
Hawke. I
He
mean, he was
invites
well
the
adjusted
officers
enough. He was just
in.
coked out.
Yeah, like, okay, I've been
He was
working on
just
this
coked
case.
out, bro.
Like the officers are sitting there going, we really have everything under control. He's like, no, 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 no,
Yeah,
no. Come here. Let me like I've been working on this case. Like,
yeah.
yeah, sure,
He's like,
yeah.
and he even says like, "You guys come to me with any new information
Yeah.
since we're partners on this case or some shit like that." But like, we don't see Ethan Hawke like interact in the outside world. We see
Nope.
him go to the hardware store to pick up supplies. He needs his tools. I need my tools.
Yeah, this flashback
But
shit.
like, there's nothing there. We don't know how he grew up. We don't know what made him the way that he is. We
No.
don't see him with a daytime job. Because to me, one of the scarier serial killers in real life is Gacy, because he was a clown at kids' parties and then he would snatch kids
Yeah.
and like do whatever he was doing. But like, knowing that about him made him scarier. Knowing
Yeah.
that he had access to a buffet of kids that he could pick from, that's the angle you take.
Yeah.
You take the angle of he does birthday parties and maybe the kid that goes, magic's stupid, or Chris Angel's better. He those are the ones that get killed.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it took a second, but I knew you'd get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like those are the guys that like he picks out of these groups because he has them all in front of him. I don't know. We
And
don't
they
know
know that
anything.
John
And
wasn't going to fuck with him. Like,
yeah,
it's John Wayne, he's not, he's fine. Yeah, sure. Go
right. Yeah,
over,
yeah, yeah. Well, that
we
was
can
in the
drink beer.
70s where you'd let anybody near your kids.
Yeah,
But
yeah, we can drink beer over at John's house, that kind of
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
And then he's like, let
Yeah.
me show you a rope trick, you
Hmm.
know?
Um so all right, thriller kill.
Kill. It's not, it's
It definitely
the
wasn't
couple of
thriller. So
special effects, prop makeup they have, it's okay. The mask looks great, and I
yeah.
like Ethan Hawke. I thought his acting was limited though in this
Yeah.
because, like I said, it was very quarantine where they couldn't do these long monologues. They had to do them from across the room. You're basing your monologue on phone conversations, so it's like, kill it off.
Mhm. Yeah. All right, kill. Obviously, I think it's safe to say neither of us would pay to see this in theaters.
No, I mean, I looked at the box office on this and it like made like 153 million. I was like, did it? And like I looked and it's
That's
still
the
in
hype,
theaters.
though. That's the thing. That's why I
Yeah.
was so upset, is because it was hyped so well,
Yeah.
and it was just a letdown.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I just feel like there'd be people being like, it was all right. Like, oh, you went to go see Black Phone
All
last night.
right.
How was it? It was all right.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I saw people on my Facebook go like, "I watched it. It was awesome." Like, then you've never seen The
Lower
Lovely
expectation.
Bones, or yeah, exactly.
Lovely
Also, I
Bones,
just
Stir
want
of
to make a quick
Echoes.
mention.
Uh,
Yeah,
I'll
Silence of
throw
the
Silence of the Lambs in
Lambs,
there
but so
because this had the
one other
potential.
thing that
This had the
yeah,
potential of being a successful like slasher. Like he could have been a really like he could have been like the look and the the madness could have had
mhm.
like potential for an effective horror villain that could have 3, 4, 5 movies. But it just didn't give me anything, you know?
I mean, I have to agree. Um, I'm curious to see what they do with it. Maybe they can bring it back around. I don't know. I don't necessarily think so,
Yeah,
but
it'll be on Tubi by next week, so
um, I also want to make mention of the fact that Ethan Hawke and his character possibly, all right, see, now there's superheroes, right? Superman, Spider-Man, um, and then there's like superheroes like Batman, who's just a rich dude, or Tony Stark that's just a rich dude. They're not super, except for their money bought them toys. That's what this character is. This is the most stripped down version of Bill Skarsgård's It. Like the
Hmm,
way he talked, the way he giggled, but there's no supernatural element to him.
mhm,
So I feel like Ethan Hawke was like, dude, it'd be cool is if I acted just like Bill Skarsgård. That would be dope. So I immediately, when he started talking, he was like, "Oh, silly," and his voice was all high. I was like, "Damn, dude, that's really a lot like Pennywise."
hmm,
Like just that playful, especially in the Salt and Pepper, like that playfulness, like really just it made it stand out to me. I was like, "Oh God,
yeah.
damn it!" But yeah, I literally don't want to spend any more time in my life shitting on this movie.
I wouldn't
So
even say shitting on it. It's like, first of all, it's our job. And second of all, like it there are movies that we have shit on like really hard because it just
yeah,
sucked. Like it sucked from beginning to end. But this didn't even have like that like over the top like no, this is stupid. I want to it was just kind of like, oh, okay. Oh, okay.
it didn't make sense. Like the choices that they made just didn't make sense. It wasn't that they were stupid. It was just I don't see why they chose
Yeah.
those.
Like
Um,
I project what was that? Malignant. Remember when we watched that?
mhm,
That was a shit fest. That
yeah,
is all we did on that film because that's what that movie kind of deserved. And whereas
huh.
this, it was just kind of like, oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I was disappointed in the movie. I didn't hate the movie. I was empty at the end of it. I didn't
Oh,
have a feeling on it. And in the beginning of the movie, as soon as the daughter's like premonition,
yeah.
and that, and and the boy is taken and so I once I correlated Stir of Echoes and The Lovely Bones, I was like, wow. And then on top of the It thing and then Billy from Stranger Things, I was
Yeah.
like, hey, you know what you should do is try to find other popular things to rip off too.
Or
Like, why don't
make
you
your
put
own
a tall,
ideas.
skinny clown in there that's just, yeah, exactly. Just make your own shit. Um, all
Or
right.
the idea
How
that,
many?
uh, he doesn't get caught in the end, you know?
Yeah, I
He
mean,
just
to be fair, we never see him. Then we see coroners in the background with body bags on stretchers, but we don't know who's in them. We don't know if those are the kids or that's Ethan Hawke himself. Also, what happened to the dog? The dog was beautiful.
yeah, the dog
So I
was
want to
very
know. I
nice.
want to know the dog
Hampson.
story. I want to know the dog story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
I want to know
yeah,
his story.
and
So
also that kid was like, hit him with the phone. Fuck that. Grab the back of the toilet. Hide behind
yeah,
that door. And when he
yeah,
comes around, boom,
yeah.
porcelain fucking heights.
Well, because the way they played that character, Ethan Hawke's character, the snatcher, the grabber, whatever,
Yeah.
he would have politely turned towards the toilet area and been like, "Are you in there?" So he could have like slammed the door shut and just beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, eh, how many stars do you give it?
Mm, yeah, make me go first because I gotta think. Huh? I'm gonna go 1.5. And that is strictly for that little girl yelling at Jesus. Which is
um,
where the premonition idea like kind of like flounders. It's like,
mhm.
okay, yeah, but it's not like this like thing really. And then she just sits there for like 15 minutes and curses at Jesus. And it's just like,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. So I'll give you a star and a half for it, A for effort. So
I'll uh I'll give it 2 stars. I'll give it 1 star for Ethan Hawke's performance, even though it wasn't that impressive. So it gets 1 star. And
yeah,
then I'll give it another star for that fucking little girl hitting that dude in the head with a rock. That
yeah,
shit was awesome.
yeah.
Um,
She
but
needs more
yeah,
casting
outside of
roles.
that, like those, yeah, dude, she needs more roles. But yeah, the movie, it didn't suck, but it wasn't great. It
Didn't
was
suck,
just
but it was really
literally
great.
like it was like if you only used hot water to make box mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it
you
works,
got
but
something.
yeah.
Yeah, but there's no flavor, there's no taste, there's no excitement. So,
Hmm.
all right, guys, thanks for watching our review of Black Phone. Remember to like, subscribe, share, and uh, check out our other videos. And don't watch Black Phone or Malignant.